What if the food on your plate is quietly working against you? Not in some dramatic, obvious way, not like poison, more like a slow leak, every day, every meal, slowly draining your energy, your hormones, your strength, without you even realizing it. And here's what makes it worse. Most men have no idea this is happening because the food looks normal. It's in every grocery store, every drive-through, every kitchen. But scientists across the US, Europe, and Australia have spent years studying exactly this. And what they found changed how I look at every single meal. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what food science agrees every man should be eating, and what's silently working against you. Let's get into it. Here's something most people don't know, and honestly, it's a little alarming. Men today have lower testosterone levels than men did 30, 40 years ago. It's not a theory. It's in the data. Researchers have been tracking this for decades. Sperm counts? Down across the board, not just in one country, but globally. Now, there are a lot of reasons for that. Stress, sleep, lifestyle. But one of the biggest factors, one that most guys completely ignore, food. And I don't mean eating too much or too little. I'm talking about the type of food, the quality, what it's actually made of. Because here's what the research is starting to prove. Your body doesn't just need calories, it needs information. Real food carries signals that tell your body how to work. Processed food sends the wrong signals, or no signal at all. And for men specifically, the consequences are real. We're talking energy, confidence, hormones, even your ability to start a family one day. This isn't about vanity. This is about function. Now, I'm not going to stand here and make claims without backing them up. So let's talk about what the science actually says. In 2025, researchers published findings from a study comparing men on ultra-processed diets versus men eating whole, natural foods. Same calories, different food quality. The result? The men eating processed food had measurably lower testosterone, lower sperm quality, disrupted reproductive hormones, same calories, worse outcomes, just from the type of food. But here's where it gets really interesting. Researchers from the US, Europe, Australia, and even Saudi Arabia all started looking at this from different angles. Different countries, different scientists, different methods, and they all kept arriving at the same conclusion. A major global meta-analysis. That means they combined and analyzed 9 separate studies, found that men who followed a Mediterranean-style diet had dramatically better sperm health. We're talking tens of millions more sperm, better movement, better shape. A team from Monash University in Australia ran a study with over 200 men. They added just 60 grams of mixed nuts to their daily diet, walnuts, almonds, hazelnuts. That's roughly a small handful. The result? Measurably improved sperm quality and motility. A handful of nuts. That's it. And research from Italy, both the University of Salento and Sapienza University in Rome, confirmed that diet affects male fertility at a cellular level, not just surface level stuff. We're talking about how your cells produce energy, how sperm develops, how hormones are regulated, different countries, different scientists, same conclusion. Your diet is either building your health or quietly tearing it down. Before I give you the actual foods, I want you to hear this clearly. This is not about eating more. It's not about some extreme diet or cutting everything you love. The strongest scientific conclusion from all of this research is actually very simple. The pattern matters more than any single food. Your body is literally built from what you eat. Every hormone your body makes, every cell, every system, it all comes from raw materials. And those raw materials come from your plate. So the question isn't, what's the perfect superfood? The real question is, what pattern am I building with every meal? Now let's talk about the foods that build you up. Let's start with something that sounds almost sci-fi, but it's real. Your sperm DNA can be damaged by stress, by toxins, by oxidative damage in your body, and certain foods actively fight that damage. We're talking about antioxidant-rich foods. Berries, blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, citrus fruits, leafy greens like spinach, broccoli. These aren't just healthy foods in some vague way. The research from Italy specifically found that antioxidants improve sperm energy metabolism. They're protecting the actual machinery. Think of it like this. If your cells are a factory, antioxidants are the maintenance crew keeping everything running clean. So don't skip the fruits and vegetables. They're doing work you can't see. Here's something that surprises a lot of guys, and it goes against what the fitness world used to preach. Fat is not the enemy. In fact, healthy fat is essential for testosterone. A 2022 meta-analysis found that men on very low-fat diets had measurably lower testosterone levels. Your body literally uses dietary fat to produce hormones, but not all fat is the same. The good stuff, olive oil, avocados, fatty fish like salmon and sardines, these are the fats your hormonal system actually needs. Fatty fish in particular is loaded with omega-3s, which show up in study after study as protective for male health. So cook with olive oil, eat avocado, have salmon a couple times a week. Your hormones will thank you. Remember that Monash University study? Walnuts, almonds, hazelnuts, 60 grams a day, clinically proven to improve sperm motility. And it's not just one study. Nuts and seeds appear across almost every major piece of research in this space. Pumpkin seeds are particularly interesting. They're one of the richest food sources of zinc, which is directly tied to testosterone production and sperm health. Flax seeds are packed with omega-3s. Sunflower seeds have selenium, another key mineral for male fertility. The research from Qasim University specifically highlighted zinc and selenium as non-negotiables for male hormonal health. And the best part? These are cheap, easy to carry, zero prep, just eat them. Speaking of zinc and selenium, let's talk about where else you get them. Eggs are one of the most underrated foods for men. High-quality protein, healthy fat, selenium, and vitamins that support hormone production. And they're one of the most affordable foods you can buy. Fish, especially fatty fish, shows up in nearly every study we looked at. It checks almost every box: omega-3s, selenium, high-quality protein, anti-inflammatory. Oysters, if you eat them, are one of the highest natural sources of zinc on the planet. There's actually a reason they have a reputation. It's not just legend. Seeds, pumpkin, flax, sunflower consistently appear across the research as important sources of minerals men tend to be deficient in. Your body can't produce testosterone without the raw materials. Zinc and selenium are two of those materials. Make sure you're getting them from food. And finally, whole grains, oats, brown rice, whole wheat bread, quinoa. These aren't the most exciting foods in the world, I know, but here's why they matter. Refined carbs, white bread, white rice, sugary cereals, spike your blood sugar fast and crash it just as fast. That roller coaster disrupts energy, mood, and hormonal stability. Whole grains give you slow, steady energy. They support metabolic health, which is directly connected to hormone balance. The research from Sapienza University in Rome specifically pointed to whole grains as part of a diet pattern that supports hormonal function. Think of them as the foundation. Not glamorous, but everything else works better when the foundation is solid. Now let's flip it, because understanding what builds you up means nothing if you're still regularly eating what tears you down. The 2025 study was clear. Ultra-processed food directly impacts male hormones. Even when calories are the same, the quality of what you eat changes how your body operates. So what are we talking about specifically? Processed meats, hot dogs, deli meat, bacon-style products, sugary drinks, sodas, energy drinks, sweetened juices, refined carbs, white bread, pastries, most packaged snacks, trans fats, found in a lot of fast food and fried food. These foods don't just add empty calories. They actively interfere with your hormonal signaling. They increase inflammation. They reduce sperm quality. Look, I'm not saying you can never eat these things. That's not realistic, and I'm not your doctor. But if these foods are a daily part of your diet, the research is clear about what that does over time. These don't just affect your body today, they affect your energy, your health, and yes, even your ability to build a family in the future. That's worth knowing. Here's what I want you to take away from all of this. This isn't about a diet. It's not about being perfect. It's not about spending a lot of money on supplements or organic everything. It's about one thing: control. Every single meal is a choice, and every choice is either building you or slowly breaking you down. Most men don't think about food this way. They eat whatever's convenient, whatever's cheap, whatever's in front of them. But now you know what the science says. You know what your body actually needs, and that knowledge is yours. The question is, what are you going to do with it? All right, let's bring it all together. The core foods that science from the US, Europe, Australia, and beyond consistently identifies as supportive of male health. Vegetables, especially leafy greens. Fruits, especially berries and citrus. Nuts, especially walnuts and almonds. Fish, especially fatty fish. Eggs, whole grains, olive oil. Seeds, pumpkin, flax, sunflower. Simple foods, proven results, no magic, no gimmicks. You don't need expensive supplements. You don't need an extreme diet. You don't need to overhaul your entire life in a week. You just need to start making better choices, meal by meal, day by day. Eat like your future depends on it, because it does. If this video was useful, hit subscribe. I put out content like this every week. And drop in the comments, which of these foods are you already eating? Which one surprised you most? I'll see you in the next one.